ladies and gentlemen, you know, life has a way of testing you. It's going to throw curveballs when you least expect it, knock you down when you're standing tall, and sometimes, just sometimes, it's going to feel like the whole world is stacked against you. You've been there, haven't you? Those moments when the weight feels so heavy, like you're carrying it all alone, and giving up seems like the only option. But let me tell you something, right here, right now. Quitting, that's not in your DNA. You were built for more than that. Every one of us was put on this earth with a purpose, not just to exist, not just to survive, but to thrive. And thriving doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when the odds are stacked against you and you find yourself standing in the ring, bloody, bruised, but still standing. You hear me? Still standing. That's when it happens. That's when you grow. That's when you become the person you were destined to be. But you know what? Most people won't get there. They won't make it past the pain, the setbacks, the failure. They'll stop short because they're scared. Scared of the unknown, scared of judgment, scared of trying again and failing again. And let me tell you, fear is the enemy. Fear is that little voice in your head saying, you're not good enough. It's a lie, plain and simple. Because you are good enough. You are strong enough. You are capable enough. So what's the secret? How do you push past that fear, that doubt? You keep going. Even when you're tired, even when the world says no, even when it feels like you've got nothing left to give, you dig deeper. Because there's always something left. There's always another level of strength, another ounce of determination buried inside you. And when you find it, when you reach for it and grab hold of it, you realize that giving up was never even an option. You see, the key to success isn't talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence, it's resilience. The ability to get knocked down and get back up again, to fail and fail and fail and still keep going. That's what separates the winners from the rest. That's what makes champions. Because every failure, every setback, every obstacle is not a roadblock, it's a stepping stone, a lesson, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, better. Now, I know some of you might be thinking that's easier said than done. And you're right, it's not easy, it's not supposed to be. Nothing worth having ever comes easy, but that's what makes it so powerful. That's what makes the journey so worth it. The struggle, the pain, the sacrifices. And when you finally reach the top of that mountain, when you look back at all you've overcome, you'll see that every single step, every single stumble was worth it. Because here's the truth, the only way you lose is if you quit. The only way you fail is if you stop trying. So don't stop, don't give up, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how far you feel from the finish line. Keep moving forward, keep fighting, keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does. Because you have what it takes. You've always had what it takes. It's just a matter of digging deep, of finding that fire inside you and letting it burn brighter than any obstacle in your path. Pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. It's a truth that applies to every struggle, every setback, and every hardship you've ever faced or will ever face. Pain feels overwhelming in the moment. It's sharp, it's heavy, and it demands your attention. It makes you doubt yourself, question your decisions, and sometimes even wonder if it's all worth it. That's what pain does. It tries to convince you that it's bigger than you, that it's permanent, That is something you'll never escape. But let me tell you something, pain is a liar. It doesn't last forever, even if it feels like it does. It comes, it pushes you to your limits, and then eventually it fades. What's left after the pain is what truly matters: growth. Think back to any difficult moment in your life, a time when you felt like you couldn't go on. Maybe it was a failure at work, a broken relationship, or a goal that felt completely out of reach. In that moment, the pain was all-consuming. You might have felt like you were stuck, like there was no way forward. But here you are now, standing on the other side of it. The pain didn't stay, did it? It passed, as it always does. And in its place, you were left with something far more valuable: experience, strength, resilience. That's what pain leaves behind. It leaves behind growth. And growth is permanent. The beautiful thing about growth is that it's something no one can take away from you. Once you've been through the fire, once you've faced the struggle and come out stronger on the other side, that strength stays with you. It becomes a part of who you are. You carry it with you into every new challenge, every new opportunity. It becomes your armor, your foundation. That's why pain, as hard as it is to endure, is also a gift. It forces you to grow in ways you never would have otherwise. It pushes you beyond your limits, breaks down your fears, and builds you back up as someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. The key is to not let the temporary nature of pain trick you into thinking it's permanent. So many people get stuck because they believe the pain will never end. They let it paralyze them, define them, convince them to give up. But what they don't realize is that the moment they push through that pain, the moment they keep going despite it, they're already growing. Growth doesn't wait until the pain is gone. It happens in the middle of it. Every time you choose to keep moving forward, every time you choose not to quit, you're growing. You're building resilience. You're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. And here's the thing about growth. It's not always visible right away. Sometimes it takes time to see the results of the struggle. It's like planting a seed. You water it, you nurture it, and for a while it feels like nothing's happening, but beneath the surface, growth is taking place. The roots are forming, the foundation is being laid. That's how it works with pain and growth. You might not see it right away, but every moment of struggle is planting the seeds of strength, of wisdom, of character, and eventually that growth will reveal itself in ways you never expected. But here's the catch. Growth is a choice. Pain is inevitable, but growth is optional. You have to decide to learn from the pain, to use it as fuel rather than letting it consume you. That's where so many people get stuck. They let the pain define them instead of transform them. They let it hold them back instead of push them forward. But when you make the choice to embrace the pain, to face it head on and let it shape you, that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you turn pain into power. And the best part, once you've grown through pain, you become unstoppable. But because you know deep down, that no matter what comes your way, you can handle it. You've already proven to yourself that you're stronger than the pain, that you're capable of growth, even in the hardest of times. That knowledge, that confidence stays with you forever. It becomes a part of who you are. It allows you to take on bigger challenges, chase bigger dreams, and face the world with a strength that can't be shaken. Pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. It's a reminder that no matter how hard things get, no matter how much it hurts, there's always something greater waiting on the other side. It's a promise that every struggle you face has a purpose, that every hardship is an opportunity to become better, stronger, and more resilient. It's a truth that gives you the courage to keep going, to keep fighting, to never give up. Because in the end, the pain will fade, but the growth will remain. It will stay with you, shaping you, guiding you, and reminding you that you are capable of overcoming anything. And that right there is the power of choosing not to give up. Your purpose is bigger than your obstacles. It's easy to get lost in the struggle, to feel overwhelmed by the roadblocks that life throws in your path. When you're faced with challenges, the obstacles can seem massive, towering over you, casting shadows of doubt and fear. But the truth is, those obstacles are temporary, and they are not what defines you. What defines you is your purpose. The reason you wake up every morning, the vision that drives you forward. That purpose is greater than any challenge you'll ever face, no matter how big it may seem in the moment. Obstacles are not meant to stop you, they are meant to test you. They ask you one question: how badly do you want it? If your purpose is strong enough, if it truly matters to you, then no obstacle can stand in your way for long. Yes, it might slow you down. It might make you question yourself. It might even knock you to your knees. But your purpose will always be there, pulling you back up, reminding you why you started in the first place. It's the fire in your soul, the thing that keeps you moving even when the path is unclear. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who have achieved incredible things against all odds. Do you think they didn't face obstacles? Of course they did. But they didn't let those obstacles define them, because they knew their purpose was bigger. Whether it was a dream they couldn't let go of, a cause they believed in, or a legacy they wanted to leave behind, their purpose gave them the strength to keep going when everything around them screamed for them to stop. That's the power of having a purpose that's bigger than your obstacles. It gives you the courage to face the impossible and turn it into the possible. It's important to remember that obstacles are part of the journey. They're not there to defeat you, they're there to shape you. Every time you overcome an obstacle, you grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next challenge. It's like climbing a mountain. Each step might be harder than the last, and the air might get thinner the higher you go, but with every step, you're getting closer to the summit. And when you look back, you realize that those obstacles, these steep climbs, the rocky paths, the moments when you thought you couldn't go any further, were all necessary. They were the very things that prepared you to reach the top. Obstacles might slow you down, but they can't stop you if your purpose is strong enough. They might make you take a detour, but they can't change your destination. They might make you question yourself, but they can't take away your worth. Your purpose is what grounds you, what reminds you of why you started, what keeps you moving forward even when the path is unclear. It's the thing that gives you strength when you feel weak, hope when you feel lost, and courage when you feel afraid. Resilience beats talent when the going gets tough. Talent is a wonderful thing. It can open doors, set you apart, and give you an advantage at the start, but talent alone is never enough. The truth is, the journey to success is never a straight, smooth road. It's filled with twists and turns, setbacks and challenges, and moments that test your will to keep going. And in those moments, talent doesn't matter as much as resilience does. Because talent might get you through the easy times, but resilience is what carries you through the hard ones. Resilience is the ability to keep moving forward no matter what happens. It's that inner strength that says, I'm not going to quit no matter how hard this gets. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or the most gifted. It's about being the one who refuses to give up. Talent is static. It's something you have, something you're born with, or something you develop. But resilience is dynamic. It grows with every challenge you face, every failure you endure, and every time you decide to get back up after being knocked down. When things are easy, talent can shine. It can make success look effortless. But life rarely stays easy for long. There will always be obstacles, setbacks, and moments when the pressure feels overwhelming. That's when resilience steps in. Resilience doesn't care how talented you are. It cares how determined you are. It cares about how willing you are to push through the discomfort, to keep going when the odds are against you, to find solutions when none seem obvious. Talent doesn't teach you those things. Resilience does. The thing about talent is that it can create a false sense of security. If you rely solely on talent, you might not feel the need to develop the grit and perseverance that resilience requires. But when the challenges come, and they always do, talent alone won't be enough to see you through. Resilience, on the other hand, is built for tough times. It thrives in adversity. It grows stronger with every setback, every failure, every struggle. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Look at the stories of some of the most successful people in the world. Time and time again, you'll see that it wasn't just their talent that got them where they are. It was their resilience. They failed, they faced rejection, criticism, and setbacks that would have made most people give up. But they didn't. They kept going not because they were the most talented, but because they were the most determined. Resilience gave them the ability to adapt, to learn from their failures, and to keep pushing forward when others stopped. Resilience also brings something that talent alone cannot: perspective. When you face challenges and overcome them, you begin to see obstacles differently. They stop being barriers and start becoming opportunities for growth. Resilience teaches you to look at failure as a stepping stone, not a dead end. It teaches you that every setback is temporary, every obstacle can be overcome, and every difficulty is an opportunity to become stronger. Talent doesn't teach. Talent might help you excel in certain areas, but another thing that sets resilience apart is that it's available to everyone. Talent can be unevenly distributed. Some people are born with certain gifts, while others have to work harder to develop their skills. But resilience is something anyone can cultivate. It doesn't depend on where you come from, what you've been given, or what you've achieved. It's about mindset, about your willingness to keep going no matter what. It's about how you respond to failure, how you handle rejection, and how you push through when things get tough. When the going gets tough, resilience beats talent every single time, because it's not about what you have, it's about who you are. It's about your character, your determination, and your ability to rise above circumstances that would crush most people. Resilience doesn't promise instant results or easy victories. What it does promise is that if you stick with it, if you keep fighting, if you refuse to give up, you will find a way to succeed. Resilience allows you to outlast challenges, and sometimes that's all it takes. It's not always about being the best. Sometimes it's just about being the one who didn't give up. It's about showing up again and again, even when it feels like nothing is working. It's about trusting the process, believing in yourself, and knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. When you combine resilience with talent, you become unstoppable. But even if talent isn't on your side, resilience can take you further than you ever thought possible. It's the thing that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the thing that turns failures into lessons and obstacles into opportunities. When the going gets tough, it's resilience, not talent, that will carry you through to the other side. The journey matters more than the destination. It's a lesson we often overlook in a world so focused on results, accomplishments, and ticking off goals. We set our sights on a target, imagining that once we get there, we'll feel fulfilled, satisfied, or complete. But what we don't realize is that the destination is just a moment in time. A brief pause before the next goal takes its place. When you're working towards something important, it's easy to fixate on the finish line. You tell yourself, I'll be happy when I get there, or everything will make sense once I've achieved that. But what happens when you reach that goal? The satisfaction may feel incredible for a moment, but it fades. You're left looking for the next milestone, the next achievement, the next big thing. That's the nature of goals. They're fleeting. But the effort you put in, the lessons you learn, and the person you become along the way, those things stay with you forever. The journey also teaches humility. It reminds you that success isn't always linear and that failure is a part of the process. There will be detours, obstacles, and moments when you feel like giving up. But those challenges are what make the journey worthwhile. They force you to dig deep, to find strength you didn't know you had, and to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. The lessons you learn from these experiences are invaluable, and they often teach you far more than the success at the end ever could. It's also important to remember that the journey doesn't end once you reach the destination. Every goal achieved leads to another starting point, another challenge, another journey. Life is a continuous process of striving, growing, and evolving. If you focus solely on the destination, you'll always feel like you're chasing something just out of reach. But if you embrace the journey, you'll find fulfillment in the process itself. You'll learn to appreciate the ups and downs, the triumphs and setbacks, and the person you're becoming along the way. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced moments where quitting seemed like the easiest option, whether it was rejection, financial struggles, personal doubt, or external criticism. They all encountered circumstances that tested their resolve. But what separated them from those who never made it was their refusal to quit. They kept going. They understood that failure was not the end, it was just a part of the journey. By refusing to quit, they turned temporary setbacks into opportunities to learn improve, and come back stronger. Persistence, on the other hand, keeps the door open. It allows you to keep trying, to keep learning, and to keep building momentum, even in the face of failure. It might not be easy, and it might not always be quick, but persistence creates possibilities. It gives you the chance to find new solutions, discover new strengths, and eventually succeed in ways you might not have thought possible. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goal. And as long as you're moving, you're not failing. You're progressing. I'm too far to quit now. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to your goals. The challenges, the pain, and the failures are not the end. They're part of the process. They're the tools that shape you into the person you're meant to become. Quitting guarantees failure, but perseverance keeps hope alive. You have more strength than you realize, more resilience than you've tapped into, and more potential than you can imagine. Don't let fear, doubt, or temporary setbacks rob you of the future you're working toward. Keep going, push through, rise above, because the only way you truly fail is if you give up. And you're stronger than that. You've got this. Don't give up.